We're starting in a few minutes. Stay tuned. 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 Wrangler brings you Back on Track live series.
Hashtag Back on Track Live series. I am Jules Kiang and I'll be your host for tonight. How are you guys? Alam kong some of you are talagang loyalist na dahil every week ay nakatuto kayo sa amin. At syempre, hindi namin kayo bibiguin. For this will be another inspiring and of course informative episode. Lahat ba kayo excited na? Sana excited na kayong lahat dahil ako super excited na rin dahil dyan sana ay kayong lahat ay tumutok na dito at sabihin nyo na rin sa mga friends niyo na manood dito sa episode natin tonight dahil super interesting ng pag-uusapan natin. Okay, before we move forward, backtrack muna tayo from our last episode. We were all moved and inspired by the story of a fashion designer. Her name is China Mamawal and she shared with us how she found her purpose in times of crisis. Kayo ba? For the past 3 months ba, nahanap niyo na ba yung purpose niyo habang nasa pandemic tayo? Sana. At kung hindi pa, sana maka-inspire yung episode natin tonight para syempre mahanap niyo yung purpose niyo. And we have a lot of episodes you look forward to and I'm sure marami kayong matututunan as we all get ourselves back on track. Kaya naman yun yung title ng episode ng show natin actually, Back on Track, na kahit nasa pandemic tayo, kaya pa rin nating mamuhay at mag-adjust kung paano ba dapat yung normal life natin, yung new normal nga na tinatawag natin. Okay, so I'm sure marami kayong matututunan as we all get ourselves back on track and someone even sent a video greeting to all of us. Let's all watch this.
Embrace the new. Do it for you.
Okay, embrace the new and do it for you. Okay, so yan yung panawagan sa atin. That's the call of Wrangler na this is the new life na harapin natin. We're not sure when this will end, but of course, we're trying to adjust. And of course, gaya na nasabi ko kanina, sobrang dami pa nating mga episodes na mapapanood in the future. Okay, for one, we'll be having David Grison. Okay, we'll be having him on July 2 to teach us how to make our DIY photo shoots at home. Better to make it on your calendars now. Okay, again, that's July 2 with David Gison. And here is a list of our guests and you will be watching them on the upcoming episode. So July 2, please calendar nyo na. David Gison kasama natin. Next Thursday, that's July 9, we have Iya Antonio of Poyima Crafts to show us how to rock our work from home OOTD. So, di ba kahit nasa bahay kayo, pwede pa rin tayo mag-OOTD. Tuturuan kayo ni Iya Antonio on July 9. On July 16, kasama naman natin si Rachel Halili to talk about using art to help and inspire others. Sa lahat ng mga art lovers dyan, this is the perfect episode on July 16 with Rachel Halili. And of course, sobrang dami pa po natin mga surprise episodes. So please make sure to stay tuned every Thursday here on our page. And aside from all the fun and learnings we will have, of course, you can also have a chance to win Wrangler Lazada vouchers. So sa lahat ng mga may Lazada dyan, this is the perfect time na gamitin nyo yung app na yan. Kaya tutok lang kayo kasi we have installed a lot of games for you tonight. Right? Hindi lang kayo matutuwa pa kayo dahil sobra dami nating mga games ngayong gabi. And as a gift to you guys, Wrangler is giving out a 20% discount on all their items in Lazada. Okay, 20% yan. Kaya naman, click the link on the comment section. Check nyo ngayon sa comment section. Nakapin yan dyan to enjoy all the perks of being with us tonight. Kaya naman sana makonvince namin kayo na huwag kayong umalis dito. Isama nyo pa yung mga friends niyo para marami tayong magsasama-sama. Okay, with all of us adjusting to the new normal. Ito na yun, di ba? New normal. I know hindi ito madali. Sobrang hindi siya madali. Nakakapagod, nakaka-frustrate. Dahil biglang kailangan natin i-convert yung work natin, di ba? Yung mga meetings natin with friends, lalo na sa mga extroverts dyan, kailangan natin mag-meet with their friends, and even yung bonding ng families natin ngayon, online na and digital. Kasi we have no choice. Kailangan natin alagaan din yung health natin. And all of our needs are now accessible in just one click. We must know how to maximize our use of the internet, technology, especially social media. Kasi lahat tayo halos sa social media na ngayon. Kaya naman for tonight, we are very lucky to have a very skilled guest when it comes to the topics I mentioned earlier. She will not just share her expertise, but she will also share with us her success story of being the executive director and founder of her company at a very young age. Plus serving as a global inspiration. Diba? Hindi lang pang Pilipinas, pang global talaga ang level na ating guest ngayon dahil sa kanyang mga advocacies. I can't wait to learn a lot tonight. Kaya naman, ladies and gentlemen, let's call in Audrey Pe. Audrey?
Hi, Jules. Hi, everyone watching. Thank you so much to Wrangler for having me. How's everyone today?
Very good. Audrey, how are you? Kamusta ka?
Okay naman. Just taking every day, like one day at a time, and spending some quality time here with my parents before I leave for university later this year.
Right. So, nabanggit ko ilan sa mga topics na pag-uusapan natin later, Audrey. How are you? Are you very excited to share your expertise? Kasi nasabi ko kanina, you are very young, but you have a very, parang kakaibang wisdom. Nakakatawa, di ba? You're using your youthful energy para makapag-share ng mga expertise mo.
Oh, thank you, Jules. So excited to be here and to share later on my tips on how to use social media and really maximize it to form really meaningful connections, especially during the time of this pandemic. So super excited to be here.
Okay, we are excited as you are, Audrey. So better to stay tuned sa lahat ng mga viewers natin until the end of the show dahil alam kong marami kayong matututunan from this episode. But before we move forward, Audrey, let's say hi to our viewers na nakatutok ngayon. So may mga ipa-flash, Audrey, ngayon. So basahin natin yung mga comments. Audrey, ayan. Okay, sabi ni Angelica Pestaño, hi Audrey, hi daw Audrey, sabi ni Angelica.
Hi Angelica, thank you for joining us today.
Next, her name is Miguel Atriaga. Yes, embrace the new. Diba, what's your comment with that, Audrey? Embrace the new.
Personally, I love that, embracing the new, because right now with this pandemic, it seems kasi that we really can't control much of what's going on except how we personally respond diba, to the things happening to us. So by embracing the new, by really adapting to what's happening, we find a sense of calm, I guess, amidst the chaos, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Total makes sense. Okay, next naman. Okay, Jenny Andres. Sabi niya, I'm excited for the free voucher. Ayan, may free voucher kay Audrey. Sayang hindi tayo makakasali.
Sayang, no?
Pero at least, we're wearing this shirt. Kaya kapag interested kayo, please check nyo sa Lazada later. Pwede kayo makakuha ng mga shirts na ganito. Oh, Audrey, sabi ni Angelica, how are you, Audrey? How are you working? How are you working these days during quarantine?
Ooh, I'm okay naman, Angelica. Like, I think it's been really strange overall having to adapt from always going out to meetings and conferences, and I spend a lot of time like Jules attending events and giving talks. So to suddenly go from that super rapid pace na lifestyle to just being at home all day was medyo a shock. But I think using the tools we have now with social media, like we're actually more connected than ever, I think. And it's been really fun to do different, online webinars like this and to really connect with people on a different level, I guess.
Yeah, tama yan. Mas nakaka-connect tayo ngayon because of the pandemic, unfortunately. Pero at least, di ba, we're using technology wiser. Okay, sabi naman ni Catherine, hello, Audrey.
Oh, Catherine Leonidas, that's actually my former 8th grade teacher. So, hi, Teacher Kat.
Oh,
Kamusta?
hello, Miss Catherine. Thank you for teaching, Audrey. Sobrang galing niya. Okay. Si Jen Segovia Pangilinan. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, ayan. So, continue posting your comments and we'll try to maybe flash it later on para syempre makita natin kung kamusta ang inyong mga insights about our show. And obviously, Audrey, sobrang ramdam na natin yung excitement ng ating mga audience. So, I think it's time for our next game, Audrey. Alamin natin who are our viewers for today. Since nandito ka na, please share our wonders, the good news.
So really, really exciting. Everyone today has a chance to win a 600 peso worth Wrangler Lazada voucher. And all you need to do in order to win this is complete the statement, I am a blank, and I'm watching hashtag Back on Track live series. And don't forget to tag that statement with the hashtag Embrace the New and hashtag Wrangler Philippines.
That's right, Audrey. And guys, it doesn't matter if you come first or last to comment kasi when our team sees your name and answer, ikaw na ang winner ng 600 peso Wrangler Lazada voucher. Just to keep them coming and make sure to put the exact sentence on your comments so you will win. For example, okay, I am currently working from home and I'm watching Back on Track live series hashtag Embrace the New and hashtag Wrangler PH. So yun yung example na pwede nyong itype para manalo kayo ng 600 pesos Wrangler Lazada voucher. Ikaw, Audrey.
Yeah, definitely. You can also say, for example, I am a student like me and I'm watching hashtag Back on Track live series. Super simple, super easy.
That's right. So of course, to everyone watching at home, make sure to join dahil lahat naman tayo ay deserving na manalo nitong Wrangler voucher and perfect for our work from home OOTD. So 'di ba, Audrey, pwede pa rin tayo mag-OOTD kahit nasa bahay tayo, lalo na kung ganito kaganda yung mga suot natin. 'Di ba? Super comfy and perfect for this weather. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Alam mo ba, Audrey, what I really love about Wrangler is that they have always been our partner when it comes to outdoor adventures. Lagi kong sinusot, may mga Wrangler shirts na rin ako before. Kapag may mga adventures ako outside, suot ko to. Pero ngayon, di ba, more than 3 months na tayo na sa house, dinadamayan pa rin tayo ng Wrangler as we stay safe at home. So before we dig deeper into Wrangler, let's all watch this video.
Embrace the new. Do it for you.
Ayan, nakita po natin, Audrey, we saw Yasi Pressman. So again, siya yung nagsasabi ng embrace the new. So gaya ng sinabi mo kanina, Audrey, it's very inspiring na despite na very frustrating times, ito yung very positive na reminder sa atin ng Wrangler na we just need to move forward and embrace the new. Because with our situation right now, it's still best to keep ourselves on track and embrace the new with new discoveries and learning, just like what this episode is all about.
Exactly, Jules. I definitely applaud this initiative kasi right now, given social media and everybody being connected to resources like these, it's very important to help people get back on track by introducing them to different sessions like this one, like China's episode talking about fashion, like David Gison's one talking about photography. The opportunities to learn talaga are endless. And at this point, I feel like if you have connectivity, if you have the privilege of a computer, of a phone, like there's really no excuse as to why you cannot learn something new. No, like adventure really used to associate adventure with a new travel destination or a new place to explore. But now with the internet, as I think as cliche as that may sound, like the opportunities are endless. So many doors are open to us. You can learn a new skill by going on YouTube. You can make new friends via social media. And it's really up to us on how we get our perspective as to the situation. We're never really alone when we have this sort of connectivity, and it's really up to us on how we maximize it and really view this negative situation and make it into a positive one.
Right, I totally agree with you, Audrey, na sobrang daming vast opportunities online right now. Depende lang talaga sa inyo kung gaano siguro ka-diskarte para maghanap kung ano yung perfect opportunity for you guys. And hopefully, maraming ma-inspire, Audrey, sa'yo tonight para syempre maghanap din ng opportunities nila habang nasa bahay pa rin tayo. Okay, so please everyone who are watching right now, be sure to set your alarms every Thursday, for we will be here helping you guys to get back on track. Tell your friends your adventure every week from all of our episodes with Wrangler. Also, this will be a perfect chance to make your circle of friends bigger. Lahat kayo nasa comment section ngayon, please befriend each other kasi lalo na kung every week kayo nandito, why not make friends with them? Malay nyo, by writing a comment below, you'll create a conversation with someone and both or all of you will be friends by the end of this episode. Kaya naman, please keep your comments running and tag your friends. With Wrangler, let's be inspired and just keep doing what you love and what you do best. Plus, we have a lot of games, lessons, and surprises, and I'm sure all of you will be very excited about that. Okay, so kanina ko pa piniflex itong damit natin, Audrey. Pag-usapan muna natin yung mga damit natin. Yung shirt mo, what do you think about it, Audrey?
I really love this shirt talaga because I'm the type of person that loves comfort but also needs to look really presentable when I'm on meetings, giving team announcements, that sort of thing. So this type of attire is perfect for me because it's not something super stiff like formal attire, but it's something that I feel comfortable and really confident in. How about you, Jules?
Yeah, kasi kanina nga, nung nalaman ko actually weeks ago pa na ikaw yung magiging guest. Kasi you are 18 or 19?
I just turned 19 last May.
Last May, belated happy birthday. Okay. So
thank you.
And I'm 29, so we're 10 years apart. So I still have 1 year left in the youth sector. So kahit pa paano embrace yung youthfulness. So this shirt, Wrangler shirt, kahit pa paano, di ba, parang it gives me the youthful vibe pa rin. Just like you. So kahit parang pareho pa rin tayo nasa youth sector, Audrey. Super nice nung shirt. Very sleek siya and very comfortable siya. Kasi kaya pala, dahil 100% cotton pala, Audrey gawa yung mga shirts niya. So obviously, it's very stylish and simple. Diba? You can still do your OOTDs in your homes. Kung nasa sala ka, nasa kitchen ka, nasa bedroom ka, diba? Pwede ka mag-OOTD. So very perfect to for your work from home and of course your online meetings dahil very fun and trendy lahat ng mga colors for all our wanderers. So you can get these styles of shirts we're wearing at Lazada. Again, at Lazada tonight. Pwede nyo po siyang i-visit. Links will be pinned in the comment section. Check nyo lang ngayon sa comment section para makita nyo yung mga shirts na yan. I know you're all wondering what other styles aside from these ones we're wearing are available at Wranglers. Okay? And guys, yan, nakikita nyo ngayon, may mga shirts tayo pinapakita ngayon. Yan yung iba't ibang mga designs na pwede nyo makuha. Diba? Very, very youthful yung vibes na nakikita natin. Na kahit na medyo chaotic itong nangyayari sa pandemic ngayon, pwede pa rin tayo stay, ayoko sabihin stay positive, Audrey. Maging optimistic tayo. Di ba? Maging optimistic pa rin tayo kahit na maraming mga problemang nangyari. Okay, and guys, Wrangler has an amazing gift for all of you. You can enjoy 20% on all Wrangler items on Lazada until June 27. Okay, so may 2 days, 3 days, starting today hanggang 27, 20% on Lazada ang Wrangler. Just click the link at the comment section It's on the comment section now. Okay? And please don't worry what to add in your carts for. We'll be giving you guys ideas. Yan, nakikita nyo yan? Here are some of the Wrangler's best designed shirts. Okay, as promised earlier, it's about time to read again, Audrey, some of the comments of our friends tonight. Here we go. Go ahead, Audrey.
So shout out to Viroski, sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, Van, who is a frontliner. So kudos to you and thank you for all of the work that you're doing during this very difficult time.
Wow, frontliner, mabuhay po kayo. Okay, next comment. Okay, from Angelica Pestaño. I am a full-time mom and I'm watching Back on Track live series. Hello po, Mami. Thank you po for watching. O kahit sa mga mommies natin, pwede rin itong mga shirts na to. Okay, so here we have Royski Van. Perfect pang alis at pang bahay kasi comfortable. Tama, very comfortable siya ngayon. Feeling ko nga nasa ibon talaga ako ngayon eh. Okay, more comments. Wow, ang bata pa pala. Ikaw yan, Audrey. Only 19 years old. Imagine, executive director, tapos founder ng isang organization at only 19 years old. Okay. Ang ganda po ng suot yung shirt. Ayan. So kung gusto niyo po, bilhin. Again, on Lazada, starting today, 25 hanggang 27, 20% off. Okay. Ayan. So again, please keep your comments coming. Pwede namin yung i-flash mamaya. Pero syempre, please invite your friends to join us tonight kasi sobrang dami nating pag-uusapan. Okay? Kasi again, we are giving away a Wrangler voucher so you can have your own Wrangler shirt at home. Plus, Wrangler has recently released a face mask. Okay, hanapin natin mga face mask. May face mask ka rin ba dyan, Audrey? Ayan, oh. Ganda na. Face mask na Wrangler. Okay, perfect siyang ganyan. O, diba? Since this is the new normal actually, Audrey, diba? Grabe. Ang daming mga groups ngayon yung puro mask na yung mga binibenta. So, syempre, ang Wrangler, meron din. Very stylish din siya. Sobrang gandang initiative because we all know how face masks are a must right now. It's a must, ha? Hindi pwedeng hindi magsuot ng mask. Kailangan may mask tayo lahat. Kaya naman, to add to your outdoor OOTDs, Wrangler is giving away face masks for every 500 pesos worth of purchase. And this promo is only available through all the physical stores near you. Okay, so again, this mask will be given away kapag meron kang binili na worth 500 pesos doon mismo sa shop ng Wrangler. Okay? Ayan. Patingin ng mask sa'yo, Audrey?
I definitely agree. Like, this is such a great or essential, honestly, at this point, during this time. Like, it's a non-negotiable, diba, Jules? Like, you need a mask going out. Mm-hmm. And what's great about this mask when I got it is that I noticed that it's a cloth mask. So it's reusable. So just because you're staying safe, you should also be treating the environment consciously. So, galing.
I like that input, Audrey. Talagang you're an advocate on sustainability as well. Kasi syempre, alam mo ba, sobrang dami ng mga mask yung nakukuha sa mga dagat ngayon. Kasi nga, hindi rin nagiging maayos yung pagtapon. So, at least with your cloth mask, di ba, washable to, pwede nyo pa siyang gamitin lagi. And swak pa siya sa suot nyo, sa mga shirts nyo from Wrangler. Okay, so this just shows that Wrangler is with us in whatever situation we are in. They're giving us shirts we can choose from and these face masks and of course the Back on Track series. Diba? Ang daming binibigay ng Wrangler sa atin. So thank you so much. Audrey?
I think, Wrangler has done a really good job of creating this online community for people that are physically apart to really connect over ideas, and really make discussions and friendships via online platforms like this Facebook Live. Especially now during really trying times like these, Jules, it's really important to have a support system. True. And for a lot of us extroverts, as you mentioned earlier, it's really, really difficult for us to connect with people given this physical distancing. But what's great, I think, about living in this 21st century, being part personally of Gen Z, is that I could just call up one of my friends via a FaceTime or via a Zoom call, or I can connect, for example, I mentioned earlier, I just turned 19 last May, and my birthday party was virtual. So it was me and 8 of my friends on a Zoom call. eating, laughing, playing an online quiz game called Kahoot, and that was how I made like an online community during this time. So thank you again to Wrangler for setting this up.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine, Audrey, no, kung pandemic, tas naka-lockdown, tapos walang social media or internet. Di ba? Ayokong i-imagine kung gaano kalungkot yon. Pero buti na lang, meron tayong technology right now to somehow link us pa rin. Di ba? From wherever you are in the world, di ba? So talagang ito yung convenience na meron tayo. So the only question is, are you using it wisely? Kaya naman ilan yan sa mga questions na pag-uusapan natin ngayon. So once again, for everyone's watching, it's time to reward yourselves with Wrangler items. Once again, you can purchase this shirt and some of the shirts we've shown earlier on Lazada. We're giving away a voucher for 20%. So this starts tonight, the 25th, until June 27. Okay, so now let's go to the meat of this episode. Of course, Audrey, pag-uusapan natin kung kamusta ba yung naging experience mo. So Audrey, of course, you're really an inspiration to many to be where you are right now, and you founded your own company at age 15. Oh my God. And now you're an incoming freshman, no less than at the Stanford University at the West Coast in the United States. Congratulations. Okay, so let's start with this one. Your why mismo, di ba? How did you start your passion in technology?
That's a really good question, Jules. Honestly, it started very conventionally. I was in class in a local school in QC. Tapos one day, my computer teacher, went off curriculum because usually we'd be learning how to use Excel, PowerPoint, Word, ganon. And I didn't find it honestly so exciting. But one day my teacher went completely off yung curriculum and introduced us to this game where a snake had to navigate a maze using blocks that represented lines of code. Tapos when you click a button, the blocks get translated into code. And that was the first time that I realized that the apps, websites, Facebook, Instagram, like I relied on a pretty regular basis up until that point were made using code, and that I excitingly, could be able to learn this language of computers. And I think that's where really my interest in tech started, and that's how I went off what my teacher said, and that I could learn more about how to code online. And I just literally Googled free computer science tutorials, and I found all these resources where I could learn how to program for free. And that's what really sparked the interest.
Right. Before later on, I'll dig in about the language you use in programming. Kasi to be honest, when I was younger in grade school and high school, usually intimidated ako with the language you're using in programming. Pero I mentioned earlier that you started your own company. So what company is this?
So WiTech is short for Women in Technology. We are a nonprofit youth-led organization which aims to educate, inspire, and empower youth to break gender barriers and use tech to make a difference in society. I founded WiTech when I was 15 years old, a sophomore in high school, and we were at first a blog that used to feature, and up until today, features the stories of different women in tech from around the world. That was really born out of, after expressing an interest in tech, really experiencing a pushback from my peers and community, my teachers even, when I said I wanted to go into tech. And I realized that pushback could have been due to a lack of female role models in tech. Fast forward to 2020, we hosted the first Women in Tech conference for students and by students in the Philippines. We also have this program called WeTalks, Women in Tech Talks, in which we bring about a speaker that talks about how to use tech for sustainable development. And we also have a Women in Tech Teach program in which we bring in CS curriculum, secondhand laptops, mojos about STEM to communities in which students have basically never heard of programming or startups before. Everything we do is really geared towards breaking the gender gap in tech, but also making sure that tech is accessible to all, especially here in the Philippines, wherein tech is a privilege, when it should be really a right.
Right. And during that time, you were just a student, diba? So how did you balance everything? Diba? Syempre, you enrolled in school to be a student, but now you were able to balance your time and create your own company as young as you were. So paano mo binalanse lahat yun?
Grabe, it was super chaotic, super chaotic. Honestly, being a student, full-time student, and running this nonprofit has probably been the biggest challenge I've faced to date, in the sense that I had to manage and learn how to adult, very, very early. I had to go to all these business meetings, all these pitching presentations, conferences, talks when I wasn't in the classroom. And what this taught me is that when you're starting a nonprofit, a company, or any initiative of your own, you have to be really, really passionate about
Right.
it. And you have to be willing to invest time and effort into a cause that may not get any recognition at the start. What you need to really know is like that you're helping people and that you are anchored to a specific cause. And in my case, it was really getting the tech scene more gender equal and more accessible to others. And when I focused on that, I was willing to really put in the work and miss out on typical teenager stuff, like not being able to go to all like the parties or the hangouts as
Right.
I would have liked to.
Okay, you mentioned about your challenges before, Audrey. And before, there's this kind of perception or mindset na when we're talking about tech, usually male-dominated siya. So when you were trying to break that gender gap already, how was it? Parang how was the reaction of your male colleagues whenever they see na, oh, this is a young lady, 'di ba, initiating an organization in the tech industry. How was your experience?
So super mixed feedback, honestly, Jules. At the beginning, when I told, and for context, in ninth grade, I was one of two girls that wanted to go into STEM. Tapos the other one wanted to be a doctor. The guys, upon hearing that I wanted to go into tech, said to me, "Oh, Audrey, we didn't know you're into video games pala." Because to them, tech exclusively meant video games. But to me, it was so much more than that. It was about tech for social good. It was about ethics and cybersecurity. Like it was such a broad image in my head. The adults, someone that I networked with at these tech events, that I spoke to at these conferences, a lot of them met me with a lot of surprise in the sense that they joke like, "Oh, shouldn't you be in school right now?" Or like, "Wow, like, do we need more women in tech anyway?" So it was a very uphill battle from the beginning. But I think that compared to back in 2016, 2020 is more inclusive. Like there's still such a long way to go, no? But at the same time, I'm really hopeful because we're slowly seeing more startups founded by women. I mean, in 2017, there was a report by the Philippine Startup Survey that said that only 18% of startups here are founded by women. So I'm really excited to see that change over time. And I hope that to all the young girls like watching this, you get inspired to check out computer science now for yourselves and really decide for yourself like whether or not it's a field for you, not because you feel like it's for guys only, if that makes sense.
Right. So when you were younger, like before 15 years old, siguro between 11 to 14 years old, were you imagining yourself to be in this kind of industry right now?
Honestly, no. I feel like this is something that is a misconception on tech because when you think of, for example, founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he was coding in when he was in early elementary. Same with Bill Gates. There's this stereotype now that you have to start coding early in order to get really, really good, or in order to break into tech, you have to like be born like with a laptop in your hands or something. But in my case, I grew up wanting to really be a writer because I had been writing articles for the Manila Bulletin since I was around, I think, 11 or 12 years old. And through that time, I was kind of stereotyped into being this humanities, journalism writer kid. So that when I expressed interest in tech, people did a double take and they were like, "What, really?" Because I think here, especially like here in the Philippines, there's really this expectation that you choose STEM versus humanities. But when I looked more into careers online, when I really explored online career planning like resources via like YouTube or just blog posts, I realized that I don't really have to decide like between the two. Like I can combine both. And that's really evidenced by, for instance, some of our interviewees on the WiTech blog, some of the women that we feature that aren't just programmers or technologists, but also part-time as writers, singers, artists. So you really can be anything. As funny as it sounds, you really can be anything that you want to be, and you really are the one who decides what type of career path you want to go with. It's all about what you believe and what you invest your time and effort into.
Right. So now, Audrey, let's talk about social media. Here in the Philippines, social media heavy ang Pilipinas, 'di ba? Parang yung iba nga mas marami pa atang social media accounts ang mga Pilipino kaysa sa population natin mismo. Ganun marami yung mga accounts na nagagawa dito. So talagang heavy on communication, to link with our friends, to post our selfies, to post our new dance craze, etc. But from your end, as someone na malalim yung pagtingin sa social media. Kasi 'di ba, sabi mo kanina nagi-games ka. Akala nila na into games ka lang din pala, pero you mentioned na may deeper importance sa'yo itong tech kasi may mga iba't ibang issues ka pang nabanggit. So, what's your take on social media beyond the posting of status of selfies?
Social media, kasi I think can really be defined by how you make use of it. It can be as simple as a place for you to share how you're feeling to all of your friends, to communicate with relatives in different parts of the world, especially us Pinoys, with relatives all over. But it can also be as complex as really a platform to share ideas and create projects. And I say this because when we were starting out, when WiTech was transitioning from a blog into a community organization, a lot of our mobilization efforts were via Facebook Messenger, were via Facebook groups. And a lot of our recruitment was via Instagram posts, tweets. People said that they found us through the Instagram Discover page, through their friend retweeting one of our recruitment posters. And I think that's the beauty talaga of living in this time and being very proficient with technology, or just growing up with people being proficient with it. The opportunity to really work past that basic use of social media is there. If you have an idea, want to share it, want feedback on it, you can post about it publicly. If you want to look for collaborators, all you need to do is ask and give a couple of requirements maybe of the type of person you want to collaborate with or recruit to your team. The possibilities are really endless, and I keep saying that because I really believe it. If as a 15-year-old girl, I could create this online community that's now spanned up to 70 members from 3 different countries. You can do it too. All you need to do is realize that it is such a privilege, to have this access, to have this platform, and really think about how you can responsibly use it as well. Whenever I post, I like to think about who could potentially be watching. And I share stories about what it's like being rejected from certain opportunities, or being told that I'm too young to be making a difference, because I want people reading to know that this journey isn't easy. And I want other young girls who look at my content to see that here's somebody that is trying to make the tech scene more equal. So you shouldn't give up on it just because when you think of technology, you think of middle-aged Caucasian guys like Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. So it's really up to us really how we maximize social media, but know that it can be as relaxed as you want or as meaningful as you make it.
Right. I totally agree with what you mentioned about our age being sometimes an advantage and sometimes a disadvantage at the same time. Kasi 'di ba minsan sabi nila parang you're too young to lead on this or to be entrusted with this kind of task, or baka naman baka may other people pa na mas deserving, pero parang na-discredit yung efforts mo na you can offer fresh ideas, etc. So having that said, right now you are 19 years old. You're months away before flying to the United States for your freshman year in Stanford University, and you are now making your name in the world of technology at such a young age. So I'm assuming that somehow this is quite overwhelming, pero how are you handling this?
Honestly, there are days, yes, that it can get pretty overwhelming, but I'm very glad to have very supportive parents, especially. Growing up, I was never raised to believe that STEM is for boys, tapos humanities is for girls. In fact, when I told my parents about my interest in tech, they said, "Oh, we don't know much about it, but we're here to support you." Or tell me more about that program that you're creating, or tell me about what computer language you're learning. As bankers, they didn't have much knowledge about tech, but their open-mindedness, and to all the parents listening here today, their open-mindedness really helped me create this organization, create this movement, and really helped me take the plunge into going into the nonprofit space despite having next to no idea of what I was doing. Honestly, there are days wherein I look at my phone and I look at my to-do list and it feels like a lot, especially in high school. Shout out to all my grade 12 friends watching right now, especially when you're in grade 12 and you're applying to all these colleges. Everything can seem overwhelming. Tapos you add on advocacy work, and some days it would be so tiring. I would just get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. But it goes back to what you said earlier, Jules. It goes back to your why. And I feel
Yeah.
very, very anchored to my why and very connected to it because of the people that I deliberately choose to surround myself with. And some of these people are people I've met at conferences, friends I've made online, mentors that I've interacted with via social media that I've actually never met with in person. And overall, it's just it all goes back to the impact. It all goes back to why we do what we do. And personally, whenever I feel really exhausted or overwhelmed, I just think back to the little girls that message me on Facebook sometimes to tell me that WiTech really made them want to take their first CS class, or to the different students that we interact with during our Women in Tech Teach program, and the excitement on their faces. Like, that's permanently seared into my brain, and that's something that reminds me that the work that we're doing is meaningful and we need to keep at it despite all the overwhelmingness and despite all the hesitations.
That's very inspiring, Audrey, especially when you emphasize this thing about the whys. Kasi 'di ba, we have our highs and lows every time in our experience. 'Di ba? Hindi naman lagi tayong happy, may mga times na nasa lows din tayo. When you are at your lowest, always go back to your why, 'di ba? Parang, why did you decide to start this advocacy, 'di ba? Go back to that moment when you decided that you will pursue this kind of decision or advocacy. So thank you so much, Audrey, for reminding us about that. But before we fully dive into that, let's have our third game, okay? Para balance yung show natin ngayon. We have our third game. This time, we will be choosing, Audrey, six winners. So please make sure to join everyone at home. And we have a very interesting question. Oh, listen up, everyone. What is your favorite social media platform? Is it A, Facebook, B, Twitter, C, Instagram, or D, all of the above? Again, what is your favorite social media platform? Is it letter A, Facebook, B, Twitter, C, Instagram, or D, all of the above? We will be choosing 6 winners, so please answer now on the live comments at the moment. Okay, ikaw, Audrey, ano bang favorite mo dito sa mga social media platforms na to?
Honestly, classic Gen Z ako. So I have to say Instagram.
Instagram.
I love Instagram. And typically, I know that a lot of people, especially like teenagers my age, like they like to put, mga puns in the captions. But
Right, yeah.
I'm a fan of like adding narratives. And that's something that my friends make fun of me for. They're like, oh, like Audrey wrote an essay. But if anything, I like to like give backstories to different experiences. And I think Instagram's a really good way to combine, like the visual content, but also like storytelling and telling kind of the truth behind the pictures, if that makes sense. How about you, Jules?
For me, well, I'm a millennial. So before I started with Friendster. Tapos we shifted to
I know what that is.
You know what that is? Okay, from Friendster,
Yes.
then we had Multiply, or sabay yung dalawang yon, and then we had Facebook. At start ng Facebook, parang ano ba to? Parang very basic lang siya. But later on, I think, Audrey, kaya siya nag-survive until now. Kaya siya leading platform right now. Kasi it's adjusting to changes. Di ba parang lahat ng meron yung ibang mga apps or mga programs, meron din siya. So parang it's all in. But my favorite is Twitter. Okay? My favorite is Twitter kasi, una, very short lang. Tapos, di ba, microblog yung tawag sa Twitter. So, within limited characters, you could express yourself. So, parang it teaches people to be very concise with what they feel. And one thing din na natututunan ko sa Twitter is walang edit option. Diba?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Edit option sa Twitter. So, parang it teaches you to, as much as possible, think before tweeting. Diba? Well, you can delete it. Pero, gets mo, as much as possible, pag-isipan mo muna kung i-tweet mo kasi hindi mo na may edit yan. So, yun yung favorite ko, Twitter. So, ikaw, Instagram. Ngayon, nakikita ko sa comment section, iba-iba. Maraming Facebook, marami ding Instagram. Siguro mga Gen Z din to, Audrey. May Twitter din. Siguro meron ding all of the above. Kasi to be honest, lahat ng tatlong to, ito naman talaga yung parang karamihan meron din, no?
Yeah, definitely. Especially here in the Philippines, I noticed na Facebook is really, really big compared to other countries, especially like in the US. Like I meet I've met some Americans that are like, oh, like we don't really choose Facebook as much, but here it's a really big platform, and I think it's because, as you mentioned, individuals, it's constantly adapting to all of the changes.
Yes. Okay. Now we go back to our discussion. Of course, we're still in the middle. I'm not sure if we're in the middle or where of the pandemic kasi everything's so uncertain, and we are accessing everything online, which is very convenient, 'di ba? Actually, recent lang din ako nakagamit ng mga iba't ibang platform like GCash and PayMaya during the pandemic lang. Super accessible na pala talaga kasi we can pay bills, we can buy our needs, and even do online businesses to keep us going. Kaya naman, it is very important for us to maximize our use of technology and to use social media platforms wisely. Ikaw, Audrey, in the context of your company, of WiTech, paano yung niya, parang paano siya nagsusurvive during this pandemic?
What's really great about running a youth-led nonprofit is that it really began online. So this transition into the pandemic wasn't bad, in all honesty, in the sense that all of our operations, our group chats, our documents, they were already put online. So if anything, what we really had to adjust to was the fact that our physical events had to be canceled for the rest of the year. So that was really heartbreaking, but ultimately we really had to put our participants' health and safety first. Overall, we've really transitioned into more online content, especially given everyone's connectivity at the moment. Our blog is still up and running, but instead of just featuring the stories of different women in tech from around the world, we're also talking about very timely things like mental health in the time of COVID, digital activism, using the internet for social good. All of these topics are things that we explore in our blog in an attempt to really start meaningful conversations about this new normal that we're in and how different people from different parts of the world are really coping with it.
Right. So right now, Audrey, 'di ba, parang everyone has the access to vast opportunities like we mentioned earlier. The question is, while each user could be overwhelmed with the different opportunities kasi parang lahat nag-offer ng ganitong klaseng services, how can a social media user, use technology efficiently right now in this pandemic? Parang how can it help boost what they are doing offline if they apply it online?
This is a really good question, Jules, because WeTech really grew through our social media content. And personally, I was also able to reach a lot more youth that are thinking of starting their own advocacies and nonprofits via social media. And it all goes back into curating what you put online and being very deliberate about what you post. So what does this mean? An example of this would be whenever I have a webinar, for instance. So last week, I talked about social media branding, tapos how to start a nonprofit. And I would make a quick Instagram post about it and put a reflection and also connect with people that attended my workshop because I posted about it on social media. Another instance in which you or anybody listening could apply this if you're not hosting webinars would be if you sit down and you watch a webinar or watch a talk, and you find it interesting, write a quick reflection about it. Tag the person that was speaking, share it with your friends who might find the learnings and the notes from it interesting. Because it's such a great way, I think, social media is such a great way of really sharing ideas, and you never know what kind of connections you can make. At the beginning of WeTech, it was really something that built up our organization, frequently posting about it. As I added different hashtags like hashtag women in tech, hashtag advocacy, I found that more people were adding me on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. More people were actually reaching out and saying, hi, do you have some time to talk about your advocacies? Maybe we could schedule a call. So just before this, I was actually on a call with a student from the UK that wanted to learn more about WeTech and how to open chapters of his own nonprofit. And that only happened because he saw my LinkedIn post. So it's crazy. It's crazy. You just need to put yourself out there and connect with people, and the people will also reach out from there.
Right. Okay. So Audrey, right now, of course, we're still in a time of a crisis right now, and obviously, some organizations and our government and the private institutions are using technology to parang adjust na kahit wala yung physical stores nila, 'di ba? They're still operating, or their offices online pa rin sila lahat. So in your context in WiTech, right now we're seeing some photos of you guys at work on the ground, 'di ba? Very nakikita ko for the past weeks or months din kasi sinusubaybayan ko rin yung activities ng WiTech. So talagang you go on ground, 'di ba? So right now, since that's not possible anymore, how are you trying to reach out to communities given we are in the middle of a crisis?
Currently, we are focusing on team recruitment for our next cycle. So we have really recalibrated into online content through the blog. But on the other side of things, a big focus of WeTech right now is really opening our recruitment to people from different parts of the Philippines and different parts of the world. To join the WeTech team means to write blog posts to help us with marketing materials, to help plan upcoming events for 2020 and 2021, and to also look at initiatives like our Women in Tech Teach program and help develop different modules and online content that could also span into things like our YouTube videos or our social media presence. Like there's so many, I could keep going. Like there's so many ways to get involved with our organization. But right now, like our biggest focus is in the recruitment and in connecting really and creating a game plan for these next coming months. So every week you can expect a new blog post, but right now up until July 7th, if I'm not mistaken, we have global recruitment open for anybody that wants to join. And I really hope that the high schoolers, especially that are looking for something fun and something meaningful and exciting to do over the summer and over the next couple of months, can join our team and get to know everybody in our global team better. I also wanted to add, on a personal note, I've been conducting a lot of workshops as well. I mentioned like social media branding, how to start a nonprofit. And it's really, really exciting because a lot of the organizations that I work with to host these different workshops, they reach out to me online via my Instagram usually. And they ask me if I want to work with them and want to talk to their community and give some tips in nonprofit building, community building, how to create a LinkedIn account, that sort of thing. And it's really, really nice to see that even despite the uncertainty that's happening in the world, a lot of the Gen Zs are really going out there, making the most of it, and really creating these small little communities to the point that one workshop I held, the participants even made a group chat with all the participants because they became friends in the comment section of the webinar that I was in. So that was a really, really sweet experience. And until now, like a lot of them are collaborating and throwing ideas at each other and seeing what comes out of it. And that only happened because they took the initiative to join the webinar.
Okay. So aside from of course the webinars and the conferences that you initiate, may isang video ako napanood dati. You went to Mindanao, 'di ba? Parang one of the outputs of your advocacy of WiTech is to provide laptops or the equipment itself, especially for those communities na talagang never nagka-access sa mga equipment na ganito. So, balikan natin yun, i-walk us through, Audrey. Paano ka nakakuha ng mga laptops na to? How did you collaborate with a particular community and what was their reception?
Sige. So, the first We Teach program sa Marawi, so that's short for Women in Tech Teach program, was really born out of realizing that here in the Philippines, it's not just a question of how do we get more women in tech, but how do we get more youth from different backgrounds, different communities involved with tech. In Manila, I'm very fortunate to be a part of Metro Manila that's very heavily connected, to have grown up with access to a laptop and a cell phone. And I know that here in the Philippines, that isn't the reality for majority of the country. After that realization and after my team and I really saw that most of the participants at our Women in Tech conference were from those middle to upper class backgrounds and grew up with access to tech, could go home and pursue CS tutorials as I did, we realized we really need to tap into the youth that don't get that access. And that was where the We Teach Marawi program was born, essentially. I had heard that a partner organization we had worked with in the past called Philippine Toy Library was bringing books and toys to the Mindanao State University's High School Training Center, MSU UTC, in Marawi. And I started asking questions about what it was like now. Because I remember seeing news reports about Marawi, seeing so many articles about it on my Facebook feed. Pero come 2018, everything just kind of went poof. Honestly, I didn't get many updates and I wanted to know what was happening firsthand. So I got put in touch with a librarian from MSU UTC, and I started asking questions about how tech was being integrated, if there was any tech access in this community, in this high school. And I was told na a lot of the students had never even used a laptop before, much less heard of programming. And that was where I asked my team, okay, why don't we do something about this? This has a lot of potential. This is a community that really needs access to tech. This is a community that we can really empower using technology. So a team member and I, Annika Gozum, shout out to Annika, went to Marawi over the summer of 2018, and we brought in secondhand laptops that we got from donors. We did a public call for donations. We cold emailed lots of companies, and ultimately we were able to get secondhand laptops that we brought to Marawi along with these modules that we created to give an intro to not just computer science, but also things like Microsoft Office, Microsoft PowerPoint, Word, ganon. Because upon talking to the librarian more, realized that a lot of the students didn't even know how to use those types of platforms. So it was an eye-opening moment going into that community, teaching the students how to use Microsoft Office, how to program using this platform called Scratch. And it was really humbling because a lot of my peers and a lot of the members at WiTech at that time really grew up with technology pretty much there for us. Like, we knew how to use things like Office and PowerPoint. Coding wasn't something like in the distant, like, and that was something like not concrete for us. And to go into a community like Marawi to teach these students all these skills and to see the excitement in their eyes as they code for the first time is a feeling that I will really never forget talaga, because it made me realize that this work that we're doing at WiTech is impacting real lives. And even though we were able to teach 37 high school students at that school how to code for the first time and brought in modules, and we left modules for them to continue their CS education with the laptops, we continued to expand with our Women in Tech Teach programs in Bohol as well as Rizal. And we were able to now, as of 2020, teach over 100 students how to code for the first time. And that statistic, although maybe small in comparison to the millions that still do not have Wi-Fi access on a regular basis, don't have a computer or laptop at home, I think we're slowly getting there. And especially now with this pandemic, it's a really horrible thing that's happening, but it's also shedding a lot of light into how we depend so heavily on technology, especially for education, especially now that classes have had to go online. This digital divide is wider than ever, because we're seeing how hard it is for some communities, especially a lot of public schools, are struggling to adapt to the online shift given the lack of resources. And that's really a pain point of the Philippines, I have to say. And that's something that as an organization, WiTech hopes to help be able to alleviate over time.
Audrey, that's a very amazing initiative kasi talagang you had the concrete action. You physically went there. Tapos, I want to highlight one point when you mentioned you reach out to companies and asked for donors for laptops, for use second-hand laptops. Most likely, we have viewers right now who might be thinking or who has an idea already, pero baka limited yung resources nila. So what kind of skill do you need to reach out for a company? How do you pitch? We're talking about pitching right now, diba? You pitch your idea. How will you pitch to a big company, and why will they believe in your cause? How did you do it?
So these are the tips I'm going to give also apply to cold messaging or cold emailing people, which for those of you that aren't familiar with the term, means introducing yourself to somebody that you've never met before and doing it online. So I'd have to say the human equivalent would be to just approach someone out of the blue and say hi, my name's Audrey, this is what I do. And tips I have would be to first be really, really polite. I can't stress enough how essential it is to give context about the work that you do, but at the same time be very mindful of how lengthy your message will be, what you're asking of the person. I don't think it's nice to demand for things, especially when you're talking to companies. It's also always good to say that you want to explore a partnership, or you would appreciate assistance in terms of gaining these types of supplies for your organization, your advocacy. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about having a very thick skin. And just being able to send off all these emails and not be afraid to ask for something that your advocacy needs, but at the same time, do it in such a way that isn't intrusive or isn't rude to the person you're speaking to. Keep it short and sweet. Don't send them a thesis, and just attach as well if you have some pictures of your advocacy, a website, that's also really, really helpful. And if you're open to it, schedule a call with this company that you want to work with. Ask them if you can get maybe 15, 20 minutes of their day to talk about this project. And just don't be afraid to hear the words no, or to hear the words no thank you, or like no will pass, because that's something that I heard a lot, honestly, when I was cold emailing these companies, when I was still building WiTech. Like, the amount of rejections were so much more than the amount of yeses that I got for a lot of grants, pitches, that sort of thing that I applied to like very early on. So don't let that deter you. Don't give up, and overall just keep on trying. And ultimately, if somebody's company or somebody as an individual aligns with your advocacy and really believes in it, it will work out.
That's a very nice take on that, specifically on rejections, Audrey. Kasi in any initiative naman, di ba, parang, kumbaga, it's part of the adventure. It's part of your journey. There will always be rejections. Pero the most important thing is ikaw mismo na nagsimula nung initiative. Ikaw yung naniniwala doon sa ginagawa mo. Kasi 'di ba, you will be the first and last person who should believe in what you do. So thank you for inspiring our folks about that part. And of course, for some of our viewers right now, kasi may mga interested din siguro yung iba na gumawa ng kanilang mga advocacies. How do you parang determine which kind of issue you will focus on? Kasi minsan, nandyan na yun eh. Parang, di ba Audrey, parang gusto ko tumulong. Parang I want to make a difference. But you need to narrow it down. What kind of difference? What kind of issue will you focus on? So for our guys who are watching right now, for our friends who are watching right now, what could be the most basic and simplest way to determine how you can help, especially in this kind of crisis that we have?
I love this question, Jules, because I think that, especially here in the Philippines, like there's so many, I think, issues that are demanding our focus, no? And on a worldwide scale, we're also looking at different issues like the climate crisis. We're talking about issues of race. We're talking about different systemic inequalities. But at the end of the day, the advocacy that you should really devote your time and effort to should be the one that keeps you up at night, the one that you really can't stop thinking about talaga. Like, it's something that bothers you, that you feel it as if you can't not act upon. And that's how I felt about the gender issues and the gender divide in technology. That's how I continue to feel about the tech accessibility gap that exists here, specifically in the Philippines and in other developing countries. So once you find that issue that you not only feel so passionately about, I advise to not get stuck on just being inspired. I see so many people, because especially on social media, share, like they just put this on their story, put that on their timeline, but they don't actually do anything about the problem. And that's, I think, something that we should remind ourselves to actively not do. Don't let yourself stop at being inspired by these quotes, inspired by other people's work. Like, do something about the issues you care about. Reach out to people that inspire you and ask how you can help them in their advocacies, because that's where the real change lies. Just like when it comes to sustainable development goals, diba? Or like things like climate change, we can share post after post about saving or like not using plastic or being sustainable, but unless we actually adapt those things into our day-to-day lives, like that's when we're making a real difference. So find that issue that really bothers you, that really keeps you up at night, that you can't not act upon, and don't get stuck in that inspiration phase. Think of how to take action and reach out to people, you know, such as Jules or such as myself, that are heavy into advocacy work. And, you know, maybe we can chat or like let me know how we can help like guide your journey, because it's definitely not going to be something that's one way. It's going to be something with twists and turns. But as you said, like that's the fun of all journeys.
Right. Ang ganda nun, Audrey, what bothers you at night? Maganda yon. Parang that's the siguro step one, di ba? When creating an advocacy for everyone right here na interested na mag-organize, mag-mobilize, ano yung nagbabother sa inyo na mga issues right now? Doon yung simulan. And then maybe look for people who are also thinking the same. Tapos they could be your potential teammates. Okay. Audrey, now as we move forward, of course, it's time to read again some of the comments online right now kasi ang dami nagko-comment ngayon. So I think it's time to read them. Okay, so we have Jen Sicovia Pangilinan. Ang ganda ng advocacies nyo po, Miss Audrey. God bless po sa inyo always.
Oh, salamat, Jen. Thank you for the support.
Okay, from Shell Decano, Miss Audrey is 1 in a million. She's rare, having advocacies at a young age, and being able to accomplish it is really amazing. You're indeed an inspiration. Dami mo na i-inspire, Audrey.
Oh, grabe, Jules. Kinilig ako.
Okay yan. Talagang yung mga ganitong affirmations, it will really boost you to do more. Ito, let's see, Vironsky. Mahirap talaga sabihin yung name niya, pero ano tama. Okay, so amazing. Ang ganda ng advocacies mo and sigurado akong madami ka pang matutulungan, Miss Audrey. God bless you more.
Thank you.
Ito naman si MN Naga RSW. I met her in person. She is very humble and kind, and at a young age, marami ka na natutulungan. That's true. Ilang beses ko na rin, actually matagal ko nang alam yung story ni Audrey, and that is super humble nito ni Audrey, kahit na global inspiration na siya sa iba't ibang mga sectors. Talagang, yun yung mahalaga di ba? Kahit na you're trying to reach for the stars, talagang kailangan yung paa mo na sa ground pa rin. So, thank you for that trait, Audrey. So, let's see, Rain Manio, sabi niya, thank you for spreading your helping hands to those communities na talagang lack of resources, lalo na pagdating sa technology. Your advocacies really came a long way. Always, alam kong madami ka pang matutulungan na community, Miss Audrey. Saludo ako sa'yo.
Oh, thank you, Rain.
Diba? Ang daming mga nai-inspire Audrey. Tapos halo-halo yung mga audience natin. We have youth, we have moms. I think there's also a senior citizen. Kanina nanonood, nakita ko senior citizen daw siya. Tapos nanonood pa rin siya. So talagang wide range yung audience natin tonight, Audrey. Yan, so talagang it's really happy, diba? It's really fun and inspiring that Wrangler is giving us this kind of episodes where we're not just enjoying ourselves, but of course, learning new things. Diba? Every Thursday, new things. So please, sa lahat ng viewers natin, every Thursday, tuto kayo lagi sa page na to.
Yeah, I'm definitely so grateful to Wrangler for this opportunity, to talk about social media, especially in the time of this pandemic, and to help also give a voice to my generation and hopefully inspire others that are outside of Gen Z, to use social media and technology more consciously and to, who knows, maybe start your own organizations or nonprofits.
That's true, Audrey. And of course, alam mo ba, dati pa akong fan ng Wranglers na pants and shirts. Pero ngayon, fan na rin ako ng mga advocacies ng Wrangler. Kasi diba, imagine mo, meron din palang advocacies yung mga shirt na gumagawa ng shirt and pants. So nakakatuwa na very wide yung perspective ng company na to.
And I bet it's not just you, Jules, that's a fan of the advocacies of Wrangler then. To the viewers here today, know that you can get these shirts we're wearing and other products that Wrangler has on Lazada. And you can enjoy also a 20% discount until June 27. So you have 2 days. Kaya naman, click the link you see on the comment section. Woo!
Right. Sobrang ganda ng mga comments kung nakikita mo ngayon, Audrey, sa side natin. Sobrang dami. So talagang marami kang na-inspire. And once again, the challenge to all of you guys is not only be inspired at the moment, but to do something about it. Diba? You can reach out to Audrey. That's fine, Audrey. Diba? They can reach out to you to ask for advice para syempre magtuloy-tuloy yung mga interest nila, sa mga ideas nila. Yeah, so you can reach out to her. That's her Instagram and Twitter handles. So right now, of course, panahon na para syempre ipakilala natin ang ating mga winners. Kasi we have now selected our winners for our games earlier. And that's for the 600 peso worth of Wrangler Lazada vouchers. At ito na po ang winners natin. Congratulations to our winners! Kayo nanalo ng 600 pesos worth of Wrangler Lazada voucher. Miguel Artiaga and Penaina May De Silva. Congratulations! Meron kayong tig 600 pesos worth of Wrangler Lazada vouchers. At syempre, meron din tayong nanalo na 6 naman na 300 pesos worth of Wrangler Lazada vouchers. Okay? So, sabi niya, ito sila, Kimberly Rose Fahilan. We also have Viroyski Van. Yan siya ulit. We also have Love Atante Balmedina. Our fourth winner is Shell Decano. We also have Jen Segovia Pangilinan. And we have Rain Ison Manyo. Congratulations once again, kayo po ang mga winners natin para sa 600 pesos worth of Wrangler Lazada voucher, 300 pesos Wrangler naman na winners. Ano meron ka bang comment para sa kanila, Audrey, para sa mga winners natin?
Yeah, special thanks then to Virozki. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Chell and Rain, because I saw that you guys sent some really nice comments kanina and have stayed with us for this entire live segment. So super thank you for your kind words and for supporting this Back on Track episode.
Right. And of course, gusto lang natin i-shout out natin, special shout out natin sila Viroyski, kasi you stayed from the very start up until now. So thank you so much. Together with Shell Decano and Rain Ison Manyo, thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, to everyone, maraming salamat sa pagtutok sa atin. Sana marami kayong na-inspire kayo ni Audrey. Kasi kahit ako, every time na in-interview ko si Audrey, lagi ako na-i-inspire. Parang ito yung mga reasons na talagang we have a very bright future ahead of us. So, once again, this has been a very amazing episode of #Back on Track live series. Audrey, before we end, meron ka bang gustong i-promote? Go ahead, please.
Oh, thank you, Jules. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to thank once again everybody for their time and for tuning in to this episode. If you want to connect with me, my social media handles were flashed kanina, but it's at Audrey Pe and at WiTech over there. If you have any questions about WiTech, how to get involved, starting your own advocacy, social media tips, please feel free to ask me and connect with me via social media. I'll be keeping regular updates on running WiTech, but also my adventures as I hop off the Stanford this fall. So again, thank you so much to Wrangler for having me, for this opportunity to not just talk about how to use social media responsibly and positively, but also for this platform to be able to connect with so many people from around the country that are learning about how to, make the best out of the situation that we have right now, which in this time, especially during this, pandemic we're living in, it's very important to have that online community, that online support system. So thank you for creating that and for letting me be a contributor to this community as well.
Thank you so much, Audrey Pe. Ladies and gentlemen, sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon sa laptops nyo or sa mga smartphones nyo, let's give Audrey a digital clap. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat, Audrey, for inspiring so many people in the Philippines or abroad. Talagang ang dami mong nai-inspire to do something with what they have and for sharing your talents as well. So I wish you luck as you go to Stanford University by third quarter, end of the third quarter of this year. And we're pretty sure na you will really make the country proud once you're there. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with us, Audrey. Once again, to all our viewers, on July 2, we'll be having David Guison. On July 9, we have Iya Antonio. We have also on July 16, Rachel Halili, and a whole lot more of surprises here on Wrangler. So thank you so much, everyone. Sana po ay patuloy kayong tumutok. Ayan po, nakita natin ngayon, sobrang dami nating mga meaningful and talaga remarkable na mga guests every week dito sa page na to. So once again, if you're interested then to have these shirts, you can have them on Lazada. And if you want to have this face mask na very important ngayon, okay, you can have this once you purchase at least 500 pesos worth of purchase on their physical stores. Okay? Once again, I am Jules Giyang, your host. You can reach me, Jules Giyang, on Twitter and Instagram. If you need a host in your events or an advocacy consultant as well, please, let's talk online. Once again, this has been Jules Giyang, and this is Back on Track of Wrangler. Stay safe, everyone. Good night.
Wrangler brings you Back on Track live series.